Hi folks, I'm Divok, and welcome to the hero preview for Axe. If you want to smash things with little regard for anything else, then you need to prepare to use Axe when Artifact releases. Let's take a look at his lore. Mogul Khan, otherwise known as Axe, is an Aglodi. He began as a grunt in the Red Mist Horde, but he always aspired to be the general. Through his prowess in battle, he gained many promotions, but some of these also came from decapitating his superiors and thus taking their place. During the campaign of 1,000 Tarns, Axe finally made it to the very top. He was now general, and took on the title of Axe. But there was no army left. Between the battle itself and Axe decapitating many of his own brethren, he was the only one left standing. So he left, and now wanders alone. Axe is a 7 attack, 2 armor, and 11 health red hero. Of the heroes we know so far, Axe is second in both attack and health, and first in armor, with only Bristleback outranking him for the first 2 attributes. These are easily the best stats in the game so far, as 2 armor is astounding. Not only does it mean that each one of those 11 health is going to have to be taken by at least 3 damage, but it also means that creeps deal 0 damage to Axe, so long as they had not been buffed. A lot of the other previews focus on how heroes struggle to kill some creeps, but Axe, not only can he easily kill them, but they do absolutely no damage to him either. This is pre-item too, so when fully geared, Axe will be stronger than any other hero. Axe plus the highest armor stat item in the game, than for example Phantom Assassin with the highest armor stat item in the game. With 7 attack, Axe can chop through many heroes, including Crystal Maiden, Rix, Solar Khan, and Zeus, just to name some of the heroes he can kill in one shot now. 11 health and 2 armor means that even Phantom Assassin, who has the highest hero damage so far, with a cheap item, can't kill Axe. She'll have to wait until she gets a more expensive item online before she even has a hope in hell of one-shotting Axe. Axe is unique among the heroes we know so far, because he doesn't have an ability. His stats exceed that of everyone, and those are effectively his ability. So giving Axe an ability on top of this would have made him simply too good. This is a bit of a negative for Axe. It means that you cannot build around him. He doesn't encourage any particular strategy other than just hitting hard. However, you can certainly use him in other compositions. He works very well around a number of other tactics. Axe's premier spell is Berserker's Call. For 6 mana, Berserker's Call lets you choose an allied red hero and make it fight its neighbours. Now, there are a couple of keywords in here, so I'm just going to go through those quickly. Allied seems to mean in this lane, and neighbour means opposite and diagonal enemies. This spell is perfect with Axe, or other high stat and armor heroes. Use it to clear the way to a tower before combat, so that during the combat phase, you have a direct hit on that tower, or simply use it to stop enemy heroes. Does the enemy have a Crystal Maiden in play and they're going to abuse her mana refund? Then use Berserker's Call and get her out of there turn 1. I'm now going to go through the different stages of the game and talk about the items, spells, and playstyles you should be utilising with Axe. In the early game, Axe is a formidable warrior. Use him to beat down enemy heroes and generate some gold. In terms of items, the healing consumables are fantastic on Axe, both Fountain Flask and Healing Salve. Now, why are these so good on Axe, might you say? Well, first of all, he has 11 health, so you're going to get a lot of value for those 2 consumables. But to even get to that health, you have to go through 2 armor every single time, which means every health you heal is that much more potent. The other item you should probably be looking to get online as early as possible is Stonehall Pike. Stonehall Pike for 6 gold gives you 2 attack, and then plus 1 attack after each combat phase. Now, Axe is going to be doing a lot of combat, so you can be sure that there's going to be a lot of plus damage on this item. There aren't too many spells you need to worry about with Axe early on. He's already such a dominant force, so I'd recommend combat training. You don't have to worry about too much mobility from the enemy early on, so focus instead on boosting Axe, ready for the next couple of stages. In the mid game, some heroes might be tankier or a bigger threat, so use the red deck's innate ability to choose favourable fights with Axe, targeting the enemy's weak points. Shiva's Guard is a fantastic item for Axe. I highly recommend it. Plus 2 armor on top of your 2 already makes you an even tougher target. But not only that, you get an active that allows you to apply -2 armor to your enemy neighbours. Now, this has some obviously perfect synergy with our first recommended spell, his premier card, Berserker's Call. With Shiva's Guard removing enemy armor or applying negative armor, using Berserker's Call on Axe's neighbours ensures that he will just demolish them. However, this can be a pricey combo. 6 mana and a 16 gold item, make sure you don't waste this. Use it at the most opportune moment when you really need to punch through some tough defenses with Axe. The other spell we recommend is New Orders. For 1 mana, it lets you pick your own fight. The enemy will often try to maneuver around Axe, hiding their heroes behind creeps and other units. So, use New Orders, and for 1 mana, make sure that Axe gets that fight he wants. Moving into the late game can be a scary time for Axe. Everything hits harder, and Condemn is far less rare. The important thing to look for here is to make favourable trades with Axe, as he is a brute at nature. A good item that lets you do that is Vesture of the Tyrant. Not only does it give you more armour, but it also grants rapid deployment, so your beefy Axe will always come back every single round. Other than that, you want to look to upgrade your current items. Try and get a high damage weapon, something like Apos Blade, which, yes, I've shortened the name because I've given up on trying to say that. So, Apos Blade, massive plus the damage, and allows you to condemn enemy items as well, which in turn can make it easier to kill them. For spells in the late game, you want to be looking to Visceral Nasal Goo. Now this does require Bristleback, but it also makes enemies less tanky. And like I said, in this late game, everything hits harder, and everything is far more survivable. So, applying -2 armor for just 4 mana can be pretty good. However, your pride and joy of the late game, your win condition, is the spell Time of Triumph. My oh my, is this a good spell. +4 attack, +4 armor, +4 health, +4 cleave, +4 retaliate, and +4 siege on all allied heroes. So it's the late game. You've taken down 1 enemy tower with your incredibly awesome early game pressure with Axe. There's 1 tower left you need to kill. You've got 2, maybe 3 or 4 heroes in 1 lane, and you play Time of Triumph. That is an exponentially good game. That tower will not survive, and you will win the game. Courtesy of Axe, of course. But even Axe, the solo warrior, cannot claim victory by himself. So who do you look to pair him with? Well, more of the same is always good here. Axe does a pretty good job of keeping 1 lane pushed back, making sure the enemy can't really get much going. But there are 3 lanes to look after, so add a couple more red brutes in there. For example, Bristleback, Sven, or Legion Commander. But you don't just have to look for heroes that help Axe. What about heroes that Axe can help? He's great at protecting squishier heroes. Partner Axe in a lane with a hero that perhaps needs a bit of protection, make sure Axe is taking the brunt of the damage, and heroes like Rix, for example, can seem to flourish. However, Axe is not a stranger to making enemies. Bristleback and his Visceral Nasal Goo is probably the worst enemy Axe can face, because it removes his starting 2 armor. That's Axe's huge advantage, that's basically why he doesn't have an ability, and it's gone. Other than that, Axe really wants to avoid the late game, so Luna and Rix, who are both fantastic in the late game, will absolutely devastate Axe. Finally, Axe's greatest weakness as a big beefy tank is anything that pierces through him. That can be literal pierce, so damage that goes through armor, or even cleave and siege, as it stops him tanking for other targets. When he can stop referring to himself in the 3rd person, Axe is a formidable warrior, strong early but then falls off later on. However, your enemy can't earn a single gold piece if their army is constantly being decapitated, which just so happens seems to be Axe's favourite pastime. Thanks for watching the hero preview for Axe. If you'd like to help us out, then feel free to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you know every time a new video goes live. If you like this, and if you want to see some more, then check out our most recent video. And here is a related video we think you might enjoy, so take a look. I've been Divok of the Artificers Guild, and I will see you next time.